At least when Taylor Swift was like, oh, I want to go back to the 17th century without all the racism, she qualified it. Trump be like, I want 1798 for the racism. So cute, my little Hasanito. All right, let's get back to Trump's rhetoric heating up on the campaign trail. I don't even know how much more it could fucking heat up, but let's take a look.
To the hurricane. With the election only 2 weeks away, Donald Trump crisscrossing battleground North Carolina.
And a very special hello to North Carolina.
The former president surveying the damage from Hurricane Helene.
Thank you, P-Blows, for the 50 gifted.
Claims that the federal government diverted disaster funds to undocumented migrants. Officials warn disinformation has led to violent threats against FEMA workers, something Trump refused to condemn.
If they were doing a great job, I think we should say that too, because I think they should be rewarded. But if they're not doing, does that mean that if they're doing a poor job, we're supposed to not say it?
At his rally in Greenville, Trump promising mass deportations, vowing to invoke an 18th century law that allows officials to detain people from other countries that the U.S. is at war with. It was last used to justify...
Dude, political commentary is gone. Dude, political discourse has devolved, okay? Like, this is a man who was the president, who is currently running for president, who said, when asked about FEMA, hurricane disaster and relief and recovery efforts being undermined by rabid Nazi psychopathic fucking paramilitaries that are primed by misinformation, his response was, well, you know, if they're doing good things, then that's great. But if they're doing bad things, that should be called out. That is insane, dude. That is fucking insane. What is going on? What the fuck is going on? Dude, this is... We're staring down the barrel of the gun, baby. Straight up. Straight the fuck up, dude. Straight the fuck up. Any kind of capitulation to this kind of fucking psychotic, monstrous framing on these issues is devastating. I don't even know why fucking Kamala Harris isn't using this shit as a goddamn talking point on the fucking platform just every day of the week, being like, Donald Trump botched your recovery efforts. Donald Trump does not want areas devastated by hurricanes caused by fucking climate change to get the adequate recovery necessary. What the fuck? Yeah, I saw the insane article. Americans split on the idea of putting immigrants in militarized camps, dude. %50 opposed, while 47% support. 47% of Americans support rounding up undocumented immigrants and putting them into militarized camps, like straight Adolf Hitler. This is straight up 1-to-1 Adolf Hitler, dude. This is Auschwitz. This is it. This is happening. 47%. Where do you think we go from here? That's insane. Holy fuck.
Japanese internment during World War II.
Think of that. 1798. That's when we had real politicians that said we're not going to play games. We have to go back to 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American.
1798? What? What? He didn't even do the Taylor Swift. He didn't even do the Taylor Swift meme of like without all the races. At least when Taylor Swift was like, "Oh, I want to go back to the 17th century." Without all the racism, she qualified it. Trump be like, "I want 1798 for the racism." Specifically. Yeah, he's talking about the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which is pretty fucking wild because that's like straight up the most Nazi thing he has said so far. This is like a common thing that Nazis point to. As in like this is something that we've done before. It's something that we should do again. It was Stephen Miller's idea, for the record. He introduced him at a rally and he first brought it up a few weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane, man. I don't know.
Soil, we're going to knock the hell out of them.
In the final stretch, Trump and his allies making false claims about transgender rights, making it part of their closing message to voters, flooding the airwaves with ads casting Harris as extreme. Overnight, Trump also accusing Harris of attacking religion, even after she visited 2 Georgia churches over the weekend.
Very destructive to evangelicals and to the Catholic Church. And she is, let me put it this way, Ben, she is your worst nightmare.
The former president trying to court Christian voters, just one day after making vulgar remarks about golf legend Arnold Palmer.
When he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable."
Palmer's daughter.
Okay, that was an awesome statement. I stand by that.
Criticizing those comments in an interview with ABC News.
Come there and talk about, hackneyed anecdotes from the locker room seemed disrespectful and inappropriate to me. The people in Western Pennsylvania deserve substance, not stories that intimate a closer relationship than actually existed.
Yeah, Palmer's daughter telling me those comments for Trump were crude.
That's a crazy thing. Hey, would you like to come on national television, talk about how the former president talked about how massive of a schlong your dad had? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy, what a time to be alive, dude.
As the former president continues to blitz the battleground states, Elon Musk is continuing to hand out $1 million checks to voters who signed his Super PAC's petition. Only registered voters qualify, but this morning it is prompting new calls, this time from former Republican officials who are calling for the Justice Department and the Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office to investigate. Of course, it is illegal to pay anyone to register to vote, Michael.
If you were to ask me who I hate more, Elon Musk or Donald Trump, I don't know how I would answer that question. I'm being so real right now. Pound for pound, presidents are always going to be worse than like average people. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who is more impactful in a negative way to American political discourse, to American politics in general. Is it Elon or is it fucking Donald Trump? I don't know. I think who's more annoying, Elon Musk is more annoying than Trump. Because like Trump at least has like funny moments. Like he has like, he's telegenic. He has like somewhat funny moments every now and then on camera. It's just like Elon Musk is utterly irredeemable. There is nothing. There's nothing to hold on to. Here's Governor Walz also making this choice. Let's hear.
And that's not a joke. But look, I'm not going to waste all the time I'm in. I'm going to talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk.
Wait, let's run this again.
Joke. But look, I'm not going to waste all the time I'm in. I'm going to talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk. Seriously. Where is Senator Vance after he got asked the simplest question in the world at the debate? Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? And after 2 weeks, he finally said, no, he didn't. That's where he's been spending his time. But that's it. So, look, Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. And that
Bro, where was this smoke on the VP debate, dog? You were kissing JD, bro. You were stroking him, dude. It's just so frustrating. There's like 2 weeks remaining. Please just let him loose. Please let Tim Walz loose, dude. Biden in New Hampshire lists what Trump would do as president and says we got to lock him up, and then appearing to realize how his comments will be taken adds politically lock him up. Oh my God. That's my goat. That's why I'm riding with Biden, baby.
He is talking about doing away with the entire Department of Education. He's talking, he means it. This is not a joke. This is a guy who also wants to replace every civil servant, every single one. Thinks he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up.
Oh, damn. It's like obvious he didn't mean it like that. Not that it matters. People will still like hit him on this, but like it seems pretty obvious that he was saying like, noting this would be politically unhelpful to Harris, a former Biden admin officially texts me, we got to lock Joe up. Ha ha. A counterpoint from a current Biden admin official, for better or for worse, no one is listening to him anymore, and his words have little power and less reach. It's a blip. Gone in any meaningful way by midday tomorrow if it makes it that long. That is crazy. Also, I'm only disappointed because he didn't just straight up say we should lock Donald Trump up. Because he should say that. Also, under the current Supreme Court, he could do that without legal scrutiny. He could literally kill Donald Trump if he wanted to. Okay? What the fuck? The Supreme Court, in defense of Donald Trump, straight up said, yeah, no, SEAL Team 6 can execute political rivals. Considering that he's not even up for re-election, this is perfectly within the purview of the presidential powers. That is Donald Trump's Supreme Court that gifted Joe Biden this little gift. Now, I'm not saying he should do this, but, you know, have a little bit of fun with it. You're a lame duck regardless. It's either you're a lame duck and Kamala takes over, or you're a lame duck and Trump takes over. Have some fucking fun with it, you know? Have some goddamn fun with this, you son of a bitch. Lock him up. Mohammed El Kurd, last week a friend sent me an episode of a Progressive Jewish podcast where one of my essays were discussed. At some point, the host and her guest began talking about the ostracization of Zionists, and they agreed that it was complex and controversial matter, almost as though it were unreasonable for us to demand that proponents of this racist genocidal ideology face social consequences. One guest even called it a litmus testing Jews on Israel. Anyway, while the episode continued, I opened social media to see the news. Zionists are burning Palestinians alive. I saw 19-year-old Shaban al-Dalou connected to an IV drip on a makeshift hospital bed being engulfed in flames. I couldn't think of a starker juxtaposition to illustrate the chasms that separate us from some of our allies, between their priorities, their concerns, and ours. I could not come up with a better metaphor for this level of detachment from reality. We know that rightfully they would never extend the same grace or nuance to Nazis, but somehow, miraculously, when the conversation is about Zionists, demanding moral and political consistency becomes much more intricate. Hesitation masquerades as intellectual complexity. I don't know whether it's incredulity, cognitive dissonance, or willful ignorance, but we are on two completely different planets, and only the Palestinians are expected to bridge the gap. It is depressing to think that after a year of nonstop televised massacres, the irredeemable, indefensible rot that Zionism remains debatable in public life. Would you support Biden if he called for a state of emergency, suspended habeas corpus, and arrested the conservative judges? Are you... Dude, listen. You can't come in here and fucking talk about pornographic material like this and cause me to nut harder than I ever have nutted in my entire life. Okay? When you come in here and you ask me you ask me questions like this, you are basically demanding, like, Hasan, I don't want you to be able to control yourself for the next couple of hours that you will continue doing political commentary on the show. I want you to nut so hard, like you've never nutted before, that all of the other subsequent nuts that come after it will actually pale in comparison. You will never nut like that again. And you will always go back to that moment in your life, so much so that it will haunt you. And after years and years of trying to attempt that same high, you will inevitably kill yourself because you know that you will deep down inside never achieve that same level of sexual euphoria. I hope that answers your question. Is he nutting right now? My man said, can we take these fucking psychopathic, robes-wearing, unappointed fucking religious freaks that have carte blanche in ruining people's lives without any care or consideration and lifetime appointments? Can we throw them in jail? How would you feel if that were to happen? What's next, dude? Are you going to fucking tell me, like, how would you feel if Joseph Robinette Brandon also secretly invited Benjamin Netanyahu to come to America only to fucking actually arrest him and then ship his ass directly to the fucking Hague to be tried for war crimes and then stop the genocide altogether tomorrow? That would be fantastic. Okay, that would be incredible. That would be the best thing of all time. Stop asking me about these fucking ridiculous hypotheticals that are never going to occur because we are led by cowardly men. We are led by cowardly men who cannot even see a brighter future, who cannot even imagine a better alternative outcome. Okay? It was Discourse Bot, you himbo? What the fuck is Discourse Bot? Uh-oh. Wait, it was a bot? Damn. I can't believe a bot caused me to say one of the, best fucking things I've said on this goddamn platform. I'll take it. I don't give a shit. It's a Hoscord user troll. Our Our new poll is out. The survey shows that young male voters are more pessimistic and nihilistic about America and its political system than older men. But it also demonstrates that young male voters' top priorities are conventional issues such as inflation, jobs, the economy, corruption, crime, healthcare, and Vice President Kamala Harris's vulnerabilities with this group are on the areas that voters tend to trust Democrats less on, like inflation, immigration, and national security. Men ages 18 to 29. Nearly all politicians are corrupt, make money from their political power. Yeah, facts, correct. I would rather be born in America than any other country in the world. Okay. The American dream is not, well, that's 47% is actually kind of low. Look at men 50 plus. They're like, oh, I love, that's damning, dude. The fact that men under the age of 30 are only at a net 47 for being born in the United States of America is like, that generational divide implies that there is some serious material changes that have happened, dude. That is crazy. And no, it's not because they're fucking based, chatter, before you think. No. And no, it's not because they wish for a fucking anime waifu and that's why they wish to be an otaku in Japan, born in Japan. That's not what they're wishing for. It's because they literally look to their future fucking prospects. They look to their future prospects in comparison to the prior generation and they don't see anything positive. This is the underlying material harm that young men see. They recognize it. They live with it every fucking day. I talked about this extensively on CNN with Donnie O'Sullivan when I was on Misinfo Nation. If you guys recall, this is precisely what I was talking about in terms of like what is radicalizing young men. It's the top of the hour ad break. It's not having 6 minutes or $6 to be able to avoid the top of the hour ad break. It's not having a Twitch Prime to avoid the top of the hour ad break because you used it on another anime waifu. Okay, I fumbled it. Here's the streaming ad break now. Fuck you. The American dream has not been equally accessible to all, 44%. I'm proud to be an American, 42%. America is in decline, 42%. America is a force for good in the world, 33%. The values and culture that America, what it is, are disappearing, 30%. Black and African American people face systemic disadvantages in America, 24%. Men plus 50 say -1. Men over the age of 50 look to Black and African American people and these systemic disadvantages that they experience and go, nah. That is, dude, that is insane. It's net agreement. So that means more people disagree than agree. It means 51% or what, 52%? No, 51% of people disagree with it. American systems of power are built on the marginalization of minorities, 24%. So what we're experiencing here is that like young men are a lot more, like in some respects, they're a lot more woke than older men. But most significantly, they are 1,000% recognizing that America is no longer the land of prosperity that it once was for their father's generation, for their father's father's generation. That's what it is. Okay? You need to understand this. You need to recognize this reality. It's 50.5, not 51%. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me on this. America has a history of racism and discrimination that is worse than most countries, 21%. America has become an oligarchy, not a democracy, 20%. Palestinians have a right to resist Israeli occupation through violence, 17%. Men net agreement, -42% men net agreement for people over the age of 50. There is no way. That is insane, dude. Look at that generational divide. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I've been telling you. This is what I keep repeating over and over again. If you grew up with a metric ton of insane pro-Israeli propaganda in mainstream discourse. Israel is the greatest nation on earth. It's the most moral nation on earth. They made the desert bloom. Israel is the startup nation. It's the only democracy in the region. Israel is fighting all of our enemies for us. If that's the only thing that you saw, you are at odds with reality and only democracy in the region. Israel is fighting all of our enemies for us. If that's the only thing that you saw, you are at odds with reality and you are at odds with a shit ton of the population under the age of 30. What an insane fucking statement, dude. What an insane disparity. I think that's the biggest gap. America's a global imperial oppressor is the only... Yeah, America is a global imperial oppressor, minus 45 versus 8. And then we get to America has become overrun by immigrants, 5%. Look at that. 5, net 5-point agreement. Net 5. Look at a few up. Elections in America don't represent people like me. America's at risk of becoming a fascist country. 14-19. What the fuck? Wait, what? Most people are racist, sexist, and biased, whether they admit it or not. 16 yes, minus 12. Me when HasanAbi has a massive male audience, but I've never met a man who has considered putting a pronoun in his bio. I've never met a man that is even close to being a leftist IRL like men are. Wait, what? Dude, putting a fucking pronoun in your bio is neither here nor there. Like, who gives a fuck if you do that? That's not like being that's not what we're saying anyway, but that's not what being a leftist is about. When we look at stuff like this is primo for radicalization, okay? This environment is primo. These guys are primed to be radicalized. Either radicalized towards the truth, which is that the systemic problems that you are experiencing in terms of not having any future prospects that you think are positive is directly caused by capitalism, or radicalized in a really nefarious way for evil, saying it's actually the fucking, brown people that are ruining your fucking life. It's actually the women in video games that are ruining your fucking life. Look at that. Look at what the fuck these people think. Look, elections in America don't represent people like me, 13%. Plus 13 net approval. America's more the bad guy than the good guy, plus 11 net approval. There's a great replacement of America's currently happening, 9. That's plus 9 net approval, plus 10 for men over the age of 50. There's going to be some fucking Hitler guys in there, okay? Of course. They are being shown. But what you have to remember is like, I love that this, by the way, there's a great replacement of America's currently happening is at plus 9. America has become overrun by immigrants is at plus 5. Like, how? That's literally a lighter version, dude. Can you take her outside? Big dog. Some of them think it's black people replacing whites and some think it's immigrants. Yeah, that makes sense. That's got to be the only thing. I feel like people answering this don't know the great replacement phrase and its historical meaning. No, for sure. But like, what do people think is being replaced here? Anyway, it doesn't matter who wins elections. Nothing changes. Plus 3, minus 20. It's accurate to describe America as a hellscape, dystopia, or a dying empire, +3. Nothing any politician has ever done has helped me, +1. America should pay reparations to black and African American people as compensation for slavery and racial oppression, -2, -50 for men over the age of 50. I'm not even remotely kidding when I say if you were alive during Jim Crow, you think it was fair? That's amazing. Yeah. I'm not joking when I say this. I mean, obviously, America is a very deeply white supremacist country. However, Americans should pay reparations to black and African American people as compensation for slavery and racial oppression, sitting at -2 in net agreement for men in between the ages of 18 to 29 is one of the most shockingly progressive things I've seen when I track it against American political history. That is unimaginably progressive for what America has been about. If you want to understand what America historically looked like, look no further than men +50 net agreement. That's very interesting. This also directly goes against the idea that like all of these young men are little fucking rabid psychopaths. Now, obviously, I shouldn't be, you already know this because you are in this demographic group and you don't fit that mold. And there are many others like you. Oh, this is precisely what I talked to the Pod Johns about. Obviously, anti-China sentiment works really well. Russia has a better impact on the world than America, -48, -69. Prisons and police, as we know them, should be abolished, -14, -69. America should pay reparations at -2. The economy or jobs, relative importance, ages +50 is -7. That's funny. Inflation, jobs, very important. The economy, 19%, 18%, 19%. Corruption, 14%, 12%, 13%. Crime, 13%, 12%, 13%. It's so funny that half of these fucking things are... Podjohn said it was surprising that the Medicare for Home Leave stuff is scoring so high. They were also glazing Cheney plus Harris events and claimed Harris has made no concessions to secure that support, completely ignoring the Dem right-wing shift. Yeah. Most people that try to justify racism with stating most people are racist, ignorant as fuck because you know what's wrong. But instead of trying to be a better person, you rather write off with, well, everyone is racist. Sorry, I was eating oatmeal while trying to type. Y'all know I type slow as fuck by now. Yeah, that's not what we're doing, though. Most people aren't fucking racist. Racism is also learned anyway. The problem is America as a system is a white supremacist one, and you see the results here. Anyway, 18 to 29, relative importance, Social Security, Medicare. Social Security, Medicare, 10%. Government spending and the budget deficit, 9%. Relative importance for 30 to 49-year-olds, 5%. Relative importance for people ages of 50 plus, 16%. Government spending and the budget deficit. We need to send everyone over the age of 50 to Mars alongside Elon Musk. We need to ship them out right now. Okay? No, you're done. You're gone. You tell me that you give a fuck about this, you're going to Mars, okay? One-way ticket. Go deal with the fucking budget over there. Fuck you. You're gonna die tomorrow, old man. Why the fuck? Oh my God. At least 16% of people aged 50 plus need to be deported to Mars. Okay. National security and foreign policy, 9%, minus 2%, 19%. Climate change and environment, 9%, minus 2%, minus 6%. Men and boys failing behind in education and jobs, 3%, minus 1%, minus 14%. Anyway. Yeah, transgender issues. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Oh my God, we literally do not care at all. Just understand something, chat. This right here proves the point that I am making, okay? You understand that, right? It is literally the lowest. The things that I routinely fucking explain to people are the lowest. No one fucking cares, dude. No one cares. Cryptocurrency, you can't even force me at gunpoint to care about cryptocurrency. Now, one thing that I do find shocking from this issue, one thing that I do find that's like kind of shocking in terms of relative importance, the fact that Israel-Palestine is actually less important for younger men, seemingly, than it is for older men is kind of shocking. Is that framed as helping transgender people? Yes. When people say they do not give a fuck about trans issues, yes, that's a good thing for trans people, okay? It's a bad thing for trans people when right-wingers actually take advantage of that lack of interest to just like farm a bunch of fucking anti-trans bills. But it's actually a good thing for trans people overall because most people don't give a shit enough to be like, we want to kill trans people in the form of legislation. Do you understand what I'm saying? That has been my point, by the way. That has been my point. There are not enough Matt Walsh-style people. Anyway. Men trust Harris on abortion plus 18. Net trust. Transgender issues plus 11. Education plus 11. Healthcare plus 10. Climate change and environment plus 9. Social Security and Medicare plus 9. Political correctness plus 3. Energy 0. I wonder why. Election integrity minus 1. Wait, what? Wait, what? Election integrity? Men and boys falling behind in education minus 1. Corruption minus 2. What the fuck? Yo, no wonder she's getting fucking cleaned out, dude. This is weird. This is weird as fuck. This is like, this stuff makes sense up here. But if people are looking at Kamala Harris and being like, nah, I think Trump is more trustworthy on election integrity, what the fuck is going on? If people actually look at Trump being better on men and boys falling behind in education and jobs, I get it. That might be a little misogynistic. That's fine. Corruption, minus 2. What the fuck is going on? Cancel culture makes sense because Democrats are pussies. That's fine. They like own cancel culture, even though Republicans do cancel culture way more frequently. But Democrats, they've been able to very successfully present the Democratic Party as the cancel culture party in perpetuity, despite doing the overwhelming majority of cancellations. I myself have been the recipient of such cancellation attacks with my commentary on 9/11 and whether America deserved it or not, and numerous other instances where I've been canceled by fucking opponents of mine, ideological opponents of mine. But once again, that's neither here nor there. It's just Democrats own it for the most part because Republicans have propagandized it. Anyway, the decline of the family, the opioid epidemic, minus 5. Dude. The Biden administration, love them, hate them. Everybody here agrees that they're doing genocide, okay? But there is one thing that they have also done, which is lower the fucking number of opioid overdoses for the first time in the last multiple decades. That is crazy. Once again, people are just like looking at the reality and going, I don't give a fuck, dog. Fuck the reality. It is crazy. The Biden administration has lowered opioid overdoses through harm reduction policies. That is straight up the fucking case. That is literally reality. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I can understand how people can be like, oh, like on the economy, they're going to suck. On Israel, Palestine, they're sucking. So I think they're going to suck even more. Okay. But like, this is something that is directly at odds with reality. Okay. Oh, my head hurts. My head hurts from all of this. Man, every time one of these fucking polls come out, it's just like, it kills me. It's basically reaffirming every single thing I've said. It's basically like one big thing where they're like, hey, you know what? Like, hey, you know what, Hasan, you were right. You were so fucking right. Let me tell you how right you were. Let me tell you what everything you've said has been, how everything you've said has been totally correct. Okay, in terms of Kamala Harris's messaging, in terms of what they're focusing on and what they should be prioritizing. Everything you've done is correct. Great. It kills me. It breaks my fucking brain. But yeah, don't worry. People will still turn around and be like, your vibes overall were off the entire time. Fuck me.
Yeah, it sure is there, Rachel. Thank you so much for pointing that out for us.
We're going to get more from our political director and Washington Bureau Chief, Rick Klein. The race.
Have you seen this clip? Student asking if Trump sees them as human. My transphobic uncle saw this and started tearing up.
Vice President Harris a question. What would it be?
I think I would ask her, how soon do you think we can get the Equality Act passed?
How about Donald Trump?
I would ask him, do you see me as a human?
Oh. I'm sorry. If you were to ask Vice President Harris a question.
It's crazy because in 2016, it would have been like, fuck yeah, I don't give a shit. You can piss in any bathroom you want. In 2020, no. The answer is no. That's what's so crazy about it. Like, Trump was literally pro-trans, dude. He was pro-trans when he was running for president in 2016. I will never forget that famous moment where he's like, standing in front of fucking these Republicans at this like shitty ass rally that he's conducting. What? I wouldn't say pro-trans indifferent. No, dog. He ran on a pro-trans. No, dude. No. Trump was literally pro-trans. He hugged a pride flag. He said that North Carolina was stupid for doing a bathroom bill. He said North Carolina is stupid. Now, what he did after he became president is different. Of course, he like banned trans people from the military, shit like that. But like when he ran on it, he ran as a pro-trans candidate. He talked about defending the LGBTQ. He literally said he would defend LGBTQ in a 2016 RNC speech. He said it, of course, in an Islamophobic way. He was like, I'm going to defend the LGBTQ from Islamic terror. So he was lying, nothing new. Of course he was lying. Of course he was lying, chat. The point is, what you lie about when you're campaigning is very important. Do you understand me? What you choose to message around, what you choose to lie about is profoundly important. That's it. Because it reveals the way that candidates recognize the game. It reveals the way that candidates look at the board and go, this is not an issue that I, need to pay attention to or harp on, or this is an issue that I have to concede on. Okay? Anyway. Let's see what fucking Tim Walz had to say about the Cheney support on Jon Stewart.
Anything. Do we really have to do that?
Look, it goes broader than that. Look, Bernie Sanders, Dick Cheney, Taylor Swift.
No.
That one. Oh, the shooting?
No.
Having the Cheneys on board?
Nah. You can't Dick Cheney or Taylor Swift. No.
Thank you, Jon Stewart.
What country did Taylor Swift get us to invade? No.
Yeah. No, don't you think, though, that, and I do this, I believe this, there is still a core group of folks out there, your point being, and not joke, the don't tread on me, the Reagan piece of this, the libertarian piece, but the constitutional piece, there are a lot of people out there. I think Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney give permission to those folks who want to find a reason to do the right thing. It doesn't mean they agree with us. We're not going to take their foreign policy decisions and discussions, and implement those.
But you are. Like, no disrespect to Timmy Boy, but this is further than the neocon agenda ever could have imagined itself getting to. Last week, the American government revealed a leak within the American security apparatus showed that we were analyzing Israel's retaliation against Iran. That is the underpinning of neocon sentiment, the agenda. That is above and beyond what any fucking neocon could have ever imagined. That's the big prize, dude. That is literally the final thing that they wanted. That's what's so crazy about this. When he says, like, what do you mean Iran was next? If Iraq and Afghanistan went better? No, Iran was always the final prize. Iran was always the top billing. It's the end game. They've always wanted Iran. And now the Democrats are giving Iran. And that's what's crazy. He's like, oh, we would never follow the neocon agenda. It's like, dog, that's crazy because you said you would nuclear first strike Iran. You said on the VP debate, first answer the question, dead to rights, you stared down the barrel of the gun and you said, we must let the genocidal apartheid state nuke Iran. That's crazy. Why would the Cheneys endorse Kamala unless she's adopting their positions?
We're going to take their
promise?
Yes, promise.
Promise? Come on, John. You should. This is what I mean. It's like he's not. When people say the Kamala Harris campaign is not giving anything to the Republicans, they're just simply picking up those votes. And then they spend every fucking waking moment parading Liz Cheney around Michigan Are they fucking stupid? That's the question I have. Are they dumb? You are literally telling everyone in your base of support that you are taking their votes for granted because you desperately want a couple of Republicans to fucking turn tail and come and vote for you. Like, it is the dumbest. It is the dumbest thing that you could do.
Is as tight as ever, and many have already cast their vote.
Yeah. Good morning, Robin. We have seen a huge number of Americans already voting. Almost 17 million people have cast their ballots, 10 million alone in the last week. As expected, the voting pace is down a bit from early voting 2020 when we had COVID disrupt so many things. But just to zoom in on a couple of states to draw some patterns, this is what we're seeing so far in Georgia in terms of the party breakdown. You're still seeing more Democrats than Republicans voting early, but a little bit less so than last time around. Republicans seem to be eating into the voting advantage early that they enjoyed last time around. A similar story in Pennsylvania, where we're seeing in-person voting set records. Again, there are more Democrats than Republicans voting, but a little bit less so than last time around. We don't know if that's a sign of momentum or if these are just people who previously voted on Election Day now listening to a party that kind of changed its tune on early voting, Robin.
Could be. Okay, with the polling showing tight in the battlegrounds, where are the candidates focusing down the stretch?
Yeah, we've seen the battlegrounds tighten almost across the board. Donald Trump up a little bit, not a huge amount, but a little bit in a bunch of places. And right now it is a battle for the suburbs. This is a glimpse at some of the places that that we saw Vice President Harris in the last couple of days. She's going to be in Delaware County, Pennsylvania tomorrow. Delaware County, right outside Philadelphia.
Have you ever seen a politician in your life come out and do something more progressive than what they ran on? Told you about how the early voting stuff doesn't tell you shit? No, it's never happened. And it will not happen with Kamala Harris. She will be even more conservative than she's presenting herself, which is really scary to think of because she's presenting herself as a fucking damn near Dick Cheney style neocon when it comes to fucking foreign policy. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like I think the Pod Johns conversation that I had was like very instructive. I feel like I saw something. I saw like something from the internal communications that I wasn't supposed to when Pod John told me, oh, well, we're getting a lot of, the campaign is fielding a lot of calls from Jewish voters in Michigan that say like that they care about Israel. I think that's got to be it, right? That's the reason why the Harris campaign is sending pro-Israel AIPAC shill Richie Torres to Michigan. Like, I think they legitimately think that there are a lot of Jews in Michigan that are just like singular voters for Israel, which no poll has ever shown to me. And I don't know why they're doing that. I think that's got to be it, right? I've never fucking seen that before. Biden was not more progressive on domestic policy than we expected him to be. Even though, okay, so you're admitting that he ran on more progressive stuff than he actually accomplished. Okay. Yeah, that's what Central Committee is saying. No politician ever fucking outflanks their agenda. Biden didn't either. But Biden did do more of his agenda in terms of domestic policy than we thought he would do because we thought he wouldn't do anything. I don't know what's going on with the internal polling in the Democratic Party with Michigan. Like, I feel like maybe they got like with Hillary, they thought they didn't have to campaign in Michigan as much and they fucking lost it. And I think like with Kamala Harris, now they think like they have to put out a pro-Israel sentiment to win Michigan. Which is also fucking delusional. I don't know. She didn't even mention Israel. West Michigan is arguably a one-issue Israel region. I was at the Harris rally in Grand Rapids. She didn't even mention Israel. No, I'm talking about this. Doug Emhoff, Richie Torres reassure Michigan Jewish voters Harris supports Israel. How was you accidentally receiving sensitive information about the Dems? No, it was on a podcast. I don't ignore my theory there, but what if she's just farming early votes from Zionists, knowing that apathetic people will still show up if she changes her tune on Israel in a few days? No, that's insane. No, I think that is completely insane. The reason why I think that is completely insane is because like they're double fucked. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to lie. I have not seen a single fucking poll that shows that the American Jewish vote is singularly focused on more genocide, please. And as a matter of fact, I've only seen the opposite. Okay? So I don't know where the fuck these guys are getting this data from, where they're like, we have to reassure the Jewish voters that Harris still supports Israel. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? Every time you come out like this, you are cooking yourself. What is this? March 21st. Majority of US say Israel's valid reasons for fighting. Fewer say the same about Hamas. 57% express some sympathy for both Israelis and Palestinians. I'm talking about specifically the embargo. Like, I think I am fearful that we are literally going to fucking look back at this and be like, the warning signs were right there. How the fuck did we not see this? Like, there's so much polling on this, on a weapons embargo. There's so much fucking polling on what it would do to enthusiasm, voter enthusiasm in general, if she were to take action against Israel in any capacity. I don't know how much more data we can fucking directly look at, you know? Like, Israel's reasons for fighting Hamas. Not sure is at 28%. Harris does not or has never dictated policy on public pressure. She's just going with what her handlers say. Fair. In the month of February, it was 21% somewhat completely acceptable, 17% somewhat acceptable, 14% completely unacceptable, 20% somewhat 20% completely unacceptable, 14% somewhat unacceptable. Ay, ay, ay. Polling dams broke this morning with at least 12 new polls, 7 polls from WAPO. You got Georgia Harris 51-47. You got Wisconsin Harris 50-47. You got Pennsylvania Harris 49-47. You got Nevada tying at 48-48. North Carolina, Trump at 50 over Harris's 47. And Arizona, Trump at 49 over Harris's 46. Hiện giờ thay phòng nhà phòng công công này chỉ做开暗是嘛不都会看看到我们。